Good positive, how's it going, everybody? Got for you guys today a really good RU battle, guys. Trust me, y'all are definitely going to like this battle. Now, the first kind of video that I uploaded, like this one, a lot of you actually really seem to enjoy. I want to say about maybe 70 to 30%, 70% liking it, 30% being kind of iffy and not liking it in general. And I did get a good amount of feedback, as I said, so I would definitely be bringing you guys some more types of these narrations, maybe once a week or so, just because I don't want to constantly do them over and over and over and them get boring, because I really do want to save these for good battles like this one. As I said, this was a really good battle and it definitely came down to the wire. And I want to go ahead and say thank you to my boy Keo392 for making me the awesome little team preview for this battle. Now, I'll go ahead and say it right now, I am actually on the other side of the field because the Showdown replayer likes to do that crap. So if you guys don't like when a person is on the other side narrating it from that side, then by all means you can go ahead and leave, but I would greatly appreciate it if you guys did stick around for this, because as I said, it was a really good battle. And if you guys do enjoy this, make sure to hit that like button, guys, to let me know that you would like to see these more often. I want to say maybe 300 likes. If we can get 300 likes, I would definitely be bringing you guys more of these, because that should give me a good range of how many people actually do really enjoy these and want me to keep posting them. Now, looking at the team preview, I'm using a team that I based around Sticky Web Lead Smeargle with Silk Scarf, X-Cloud, and Defiant Braviary for Pokemon that have Defog, which I think the most common defogger is like Gligar, either that or Golbat, because I've seen a couple Golbat. And then I threw in Scarf Hitmonlee just to be able to revenge kill Slowking, just as a defensive pivot and something to check Delphox, which is a huge threat in the tier. And then I threw in Bayonet to prevent rapid spinning, and then I can just revenge kill huge threats to my team with priority Destiny Bond. Now, looking at my opponent's team, he has a lot of threats. Medicham is going to be a huge problem. Yanmega could possibly sweep through my team. Cresselia, if it turns out to be Calm Mind and I allow it to set up, sweeps me. Then Jellicent in general is just a problem to my team. So already going into this battle, I was really thinking that odds were not in my favor, but I'm just gonna go ahead and lead off with my Smeargle, as he actually ends up leading off with his Drapion. Now, right off the bat, I'm thinking, okay, Drapion can do nothing to Smeargle, right? I'm gonna go straight for the Spore, then go from there. Unfortunately, though, it turns out that he actually has the taunt, which I completely forgot about, and now I am forced to fodder something off on my team. And ultimately, I decided to fodder off Hitmonlee because, as you can see on his team, he has Claydol, he has Jellicent, he has Yanmega, and he has Cresselia, and Medicham, which means Hitmonlee was automatically the first Pokemon that I was going to fodder off to anything, just because I knew that high jump kick would be doing nothing to his team. So I bring back in my Smeargle because I actually do have Magic Coat on this Smeargle just for taunt leading Pokemon. Unfortunately, though, I forgot that Drapion could even learn taunt, which is why I didn't go for the Magic Coat. As now, I'm going to be able to go for the Spore, then take this opportunity to go for the Sticky Web. Now, the reason why I went for Sticky Web over Stealth Rocks is because of his Medicham being able to easily come in and destroy something on my team and just outspeed my whole team in general, to be honest. So I bring in my Braviary, which is actually a sub-bulk up Braviary, and I'm going to be able to get off a solid amount of damage onto Cresselia. Now, I'm going to stay in thinking that Cresselia should be able to do nothing to me, and I'm actually going to go for the Substitute, as he brings in the Claydol. And here, I make kind of a questionable play. Now, I could have stayed in and used this Claydol for setup fodder, which ultimately might have been my better play to do, but I was so fixated on the point that I wanted to keep Sticky Web up so X-Cloud could come in and destroy his whole team that I didn't fully think out my play. And you're going to see that throughout this battle, I don't exactly fully think out my plays, which is honestly just 100% my fault, just because I did have other things on my mind, which if you do have problems going on in real life, you will know that you don't really tend to think too many things out, which is why I'm probably going to make a lot of questionable plays in this battle. That's not excuses, that's just the honest truth, so don't bash me in the comment section if I do make a dumb play like I do right here. Switching out into my Bayonet, predicting the Rapid Spin where I could have just stayed in and started going for bulk ups and possibly swept through his team with Braviary. So I switch it to my bayonet, preventing him from rapid spinning, and then I'm gonna go for the taunt, to prevent him from going for stealth rocks, as I then go for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting him to want to switch out, as he does bring in the Cresselia. I make another really dumb play here. I stay in, and what I should have done was switched right into my Slowking, but I stayed in thinking that this could possibly be like a rest talk Cresselia, because I have actually faced one of those and it was so frustrating. So I wanted to stay in, go for taunt, or prevent him from like thunder waving or toxicking something on my team. Unfortunately though, I let my bayonet take way too much damage, and here he's gonna make a very good, basically a very genius play. He's gonna bring in his Yanmega to bait me to go for the Destiny Bond. This way his Medicham, which is the biggest threat to my team once my bayonet is gone, can easily come in and practically destroy my entire team. Although he did also lose another threat in the form of Yanmega, he knew that ultimately Medicham would be more useful to him than his Yanmega. So on the double down, I bring in my X-Spot as he brings in the Claydol. I'm thinking, okay, I'm modest, Silk Scarf, I'll easily 1-hit KO this Claydol. No, it's not even a 2-hit KO after I go for the second Boom Burst, because I do get a low damage roll. Now, instead of going for the second Boom Burst, what I should have done was switch directly into my Braviary as opposed to doing it this turn, just because Claydol can really do nothing to Braviary, although there was a chance he might have gone for the Toxic, which is why I didn't want to switch directly into my Braviary on this Claydol. As I bring in my Braviary, I go for the substitute thinking, okay, he's going to go for the Toxic, right? No, it turns out that he has Psychic, and 2 hits is going to be enough to break my substitute, which is actually really good for me, because now I can honestly set up all over this Claydol as he brings in the Jellicent. This right here is probably the most stalliest part of this battle, but looking at his team, after a few bulk ups, Braviary wins me the battle. This is why I said earlier around turn 9 that what I should have done was possibly stayed in with Braviary and just started setting up all over that Claydol. So I'm going to stay in, play very ballsy around this Jellicent just because he keeps spamming Surf. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, okay, maybe he's like a Choice Specs Jellicent or something along those lines, which means I can easily just stay in and set up all over this thing. But it turns out that his Surf is actually a min-max variant to whether or not he'll be able to break my substitute, which means he is a defensive Jellicent as he gets his leftovers right here. So I make the really terrible play, and instead of going for the substitute, I actually go for the Roost. Now, I say it's a bad play, but then once you really think about it, I was at a very low amount of HP, which means if I did sub and he broke my sub with the Surf, then I would have been forced to Roost next turn, and he still would have been able to burn me. Although obviously I should have gone for the substitute because he did Will-O-Wisp. I had no way of knowing that he would go for Will-O-Wisp. Although, yes, I knew that he had Will-O-Wisp, it was still just a mind game on whether he would go for it when I roosted or bulk up or when I substituted. Unfortunately, he got the better end of this and made the excellent play to risk me substituting, and he went for the Will-O-Wisp, which means he's going to be able to burn the biggest threat to his team. Now, this is actually kind of good for me just because now that he did burn me, I should be able to just freely still set up on this Jellicent. And what I want to do is get up to +2 with bulk ups, which means after the burn, I'm a +2 attack, +4 defense, which means if I knock out this Jellicent, I should be at a good amount of HP to the point where I can take 1 hit from the Medicham, knock that out, then hopefully win with either Braviary if I live the recoil damage, or just finish up with X-Plot because his Drapion is still actually asleep. So I'm just trying to find some way to take down this Jellicent while still being able to keep my Braviary at a good amount of HP to still be able to take a hit from that Medicham. So I'm just going to stay in, constantly keep going for the Roost and Brave Bird, just slowly wearing this thing down and trying to take it down. As I said, guys, this is kind of the stalliest part of the battle, and this is already sped up as much as the replay will do it. So I go for one final Roost as he makes a very weird play by bringing in his Claydol. To be honest, I don't really know why he did this. The only logical thing I can think of was that he was going to bring in Claydol as I went for the Brave Bird. That way he could get a free switch into Medicham to then revenge kill me, which does kind of make sense, but I knew that at that point going for the Roost was my better play to do, as I'm going to be able to easily substitute, knock out the Claydol as he brings in the Jellicent. I'm actually going to go for the Roost this turn because I don't want to risk myself getting a low damage roll on Brave Bird and him possibly breaking my substitute and me being at a very, very low amount of HP. So I go for the Brave Bird, get off a solid 63% amount of damage. As the following turn, I'm just going to go for another Brave Bird because at this point, I am extremely low on Roost and substitutes, and eventually if I keep this up, he's going to end up beating my Braviary one-on-one. So I make the aggressive play, go straight for the Brave Bird, knock out the Jellicent as he brings in the Medicham. I did actually run a damage calc, and high jump kick does have a high chance to knock me out, but he actually ends up going for the Thunder Punch. He gets a crit, which honestly, the crit does not matter just because the max was 41% and the min was around 63% if I'm not mistaken. So unless he got absolute minimum damage, then the crit did not matter whatsoever. So I bring in my X-Cloud, knowing that he is locked into the Thunder Punch. I can live a choice banded adamant Thunder Punch coming from Medicham, and I'm going to be able to easily go for the Boom Burst as he foders off his Drapion. I was actually kind of fearing the fact that his Medicham could be like X-Rebelled or something along those lines. So he's able to knock out my X-Cloud, and at this point my last Pokemon is my Slowking, and if he does turn out to be X-Rebelled with the Thunder Punch, he could possibly 2-KO me. Thankfully though, he most likely is banded as he just goes for another high jump kick. I am not going to be able to paralyze him with the Thunder Wave and at this point be able to win the battle with my Slowking. So yeah, as you can see, this really came down to the wire, although ultimately it was kind of my fault on misplaying with my Braviary very early on in the battle, because I could have possibly set up all over Claydol and then swept through his team. But you can just theory him on all day, I suppose. Either way though, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to some more content. With that guys, I will see you all soon, so later everybody.